welcome back to my channel, Colleen C to Serendipity. Today is August 4th, 2022, and I would like to bring you this day in history. Acting on a tip from an informer, the Nazi Gestapo captures 15-year-old Jewish diarist Anne Frank and her family in a sealed-off area of an Amsterdam warehouse. The Franks had taken shelter there in 1942 out of fear of deportation to a Nazi concentration camp. They occupied a small space with another Jewish family and a single Jewish man, and were aided by Christian friends who bought them food and supplies. Anne spent much of her time in the so-called secret annex working on her diary. The diary survived the war, overlooked by the Gestapo that discovered the hiding place, but Anne and nearly all of the others perished in the Nazi death camps. Anneliese Marie Frank was born in Frankfurt am Main, Germany on June 12, 2029. She was the second daughter of Otto and Frank and Edith Frank Hollander, both of Jewish families that had lived in Germany for centuries. With the rise of Nazi leader Adolf Hitler in 1933, Otto moved his family to Amsterdam to escape the escalating Nazi persecution of Jews in Holland. In Holland, he ran a successful spice and jam business and attended a monastery school with other middle-class Dutch children, but with the German invasion of the Netherlands in 1940, she was forced to transfer to a Jewish school. In 1942, Otto began arranging a hiding place in an annex of his warehouse on the Prinsengracht Canal in Amsterdam. Prinsengracht Canal in Amsterdam. On her 13th birthday in 1942, Anne began a diary relating her everyday experiences, her relationship with her family and friends, and observations about the increasing dangerous world around her. Less than a month later, Anne's oldest sister, Margot, received a call-up notice to report to Nazi work camp. Fearing deportation to a Nazi concentration camp, the Frank family took shelter in the secret annex. Next day, 1 week later, they were joined by Otto Frank's business partner and his family. In November, a Jewish dentist, the 8th occupant of the hiding place, joined the group. For 2 years, Anne kept a diary about her life in the hiding that is marked with poignancy, humor, and insight. The entrance to the secret annex was hidden by a hinged bookcase, and former employee of Otto and other Dutch friends delivered them food and supplies procured at a high risk. Anne and the others lived in rooms with blacked out windows and never flushed the toilet during the day out of fear that their presence would be detected. In June 1944, Anne's spirits were lifted by the Allied landings at Normandy, and she was hopeful that a long-awaited liberation of Holland would soon begin. On August 1st, 1944, Anne made her last entry in her diary. 3 days later, 25 months of seclusion ended with the arrival of the Nazi Gestapo. Anne and others had been given away by an unknown informer, and they were arrested along with 2 of the Christians who had helped shelter them. They were sent to a concentration camp in Holland, and in September, Anne and most of the others were shipped to the Auschwitz death camp in Poland. In the fall of 1944, the Soviet liberation of Poland underway. Anne was moved with her sister Margot to the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in Germany. Suffering under deplorable conditions of the camp, the 2 sisters caught typhus and died February 1945. The camp was liberated by the British less than 2 months later. Otto Frank was the only one of the 10 to survive. The Nazi death camps. After the war, he returned to Amsterdam via Russia and was united with Mia Jess, one of his former employees who had helped shelter him. She handed him Anne's diary, which she found undisturbed after the Nazi raid. In 1947, Anne's diary was published by Otto in its original Dutch, an instant bestseller, and eventually translated in more than 70 languages. The Diary of Anne Frank has served as a literary testament to the nearly 6 million Jews, including Anne herself, who were silenced in the Holocaust. The Frank family's hideaway in Prinsengracht 263 in Amsterdam opened as a museum in 1960. A new English translation of Anne's diary in 1995 restored materials that had been edited out of the original version, making the work nearly a third longer. Thank you for watching This Day in History, and I hope everyone has a blessed day. And please remember to keep smiling, because I love you, but more importantly, God loves you. Please give this video a comment down below, and please think about subscribing if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And everybody, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.